Hi, welcome to Belinda's Baubles, Vlogmas Day 18. I hope you guys have had a great day. It's about 11 o'clock at night for me, and I thought we'd open our Advents and then go downstairs for what would be a bedtime story for me. It may be an early breakfast story for you guys. Well, I have a cup of cocoa, and we do Does God Believe in Santa Claus, Part 3. First, let's see what we have in store for us with my Scrappy Advent from Wisconsin. It's heavy. Don't know what's in here. I think we got something from the place that has the goats on the roof, because we now have goat poop candy. Say that 5 times. Goat poop candy. Let's see, what is in goat poop candy? Okay, so it says Al Johnson's goat poop candy is a whimsical mashup of chocolate and caramel. And yes, I keep saying it. I needed that. Ooh, this is different. It's kind of a dark, mysterious mashup of colors. Oh, that's going to look cool. Okay, so let's see if we can find me some more candy, because one of my pharmacists today actually gave me some Godiva's chocolate box. I may have already gotten into that. I may have had too much candy today anyways. So this may go to Seaver. Let's see. I'm looking for 18. Why do I see every number except what I'm looking for? It's got to be here somewhere. Ah, here we go. Right here. Okay, so this is kind of a blue ball. Oh, this is a hazelnut cream. Seaver won't like it. This one's mine. There's not very many left over here. Look at this. It's getting way too close for Christmas, and I'm nowhere near ready. I hope you guys are. Okay, so I'm going to take my goat poop candy and my Advent ball, and I'm going to go downstairs. So why don't you join me downstairs by the Christmas stockings? Grab yourself a coffee or a hot tea or a hot cocoa, and let's have some story time. Well, hello again. I'm glad to see you made it downstairs. I've got my hot chocolate ready. This is my Door County cherry. Was it cherry? Just cherry chocolate cherry. And there we go. My Door County chocolate cherry hot chocolate that I had in my Advent. Okay. I'll set that there. And welcome again to Does God Believe in Santa Claus, Part 3. A short story by Sam Stone. Now, it's so good to see all your friendly faces. Has everyone had a great week spending all your money buying presents for fourth cousins 3 times removed? I don't know how they do it. My parents have 6 girls. I'm obviously their favorite because I'm so sweet. And if the rest of you don't agree, then just... Anyways, I also have a big brother who loves me more than anything in the world. And if you believe that, I may have a bridge to sell you. So, now that we're all adults and have our own kids, and some of them have kids, my parents have at least 10,000 kids and grandkids. That's a lot of presents. All of this comes around to our subject. Does God believe in Santa Claus? I would like to think God believes Santa is real, but really, only God knows the answer, and you and I are studying it together. Would God really want us to spend all our time, the other 364 days a year, wondering what we'll get for next Christmas? Something just doesn't add up there. We already saw in the last 2 weeks, it isn't Santamas, but it is Christmas or Christmas. Let me explain. When we said our goodbyes last week, I was wondering who decided December 25th was Jesus' birthday. I had actually looked into that, and the answer was almost interesting. I'll tell you what I found out in a second, but I also thought we might want to know how Santa kind of permanently crashed what should be Jesus' big day. I wonder if that's the first photobomb. All those pictures with Santa in them. And why do we give each other presents on someone else's birthday? Well, first of all, it turns out there's a big debate about who picked that particular day. And I'll tell you this much. The leading contenders are either a pope, an emperor, or some kid back in the 3rd or 4th century AD painting graffiti on a tabernacle wall because, well, that's part some mystery too. The good news is that it was likely meant to get rid of a pagan holiday, and it seemed like a good idea to put Jesus in its place. That thought has a lot to do with what we're studying. Does God believe in Santa Claus? Does it even matter? The reason we're doing this together always seems to come back to the way the world has taken what could be a seriously special day, honoring Jesus, put Santa in the spotlight, and somewhere along the way, it got commercialized, which is where we are now, today. There's a very long story in there, and we just don't have that kind of time. But the short version is there was this guy, literally named St. Nicholas, and early scholars came up with a plan to take St. Nick, change a pagan holiday, make it religious by celebrating Jesus, and throw in giving each other presents, kind of like a bonus. You see, there's a story in the Bible about 3 wise men called Magi who gave the very first Christmas gifts. And turns out that good old St. Nicholas was also a kind and generous man who really was known for his acts of giving gifts. There's another big story here too, but the big difference is that Nick did all of his giving completely anonymously. It was his secret. Now that's the abridged version of who, how, and why. I know it leaves a lot to your imagination, but imagination is what we're doing. Intermission fun fact. Have I mentioned all that stands behind a wife's dull, ho-hum life and a life of luxury is one teeny weeny accidental push on a ladder while the husband is putting up Christmas lights? So back to our story. Did God create Santa as a fun way to honor Jesus? Of course, he didn't have to, but he could have. God can do anything. One time of year, we think about Santa, and I'm sure God is watching. You can bet your bottom dollar God knows who's been naughty or nice. Now, never ask Mr. Sam if he's been naughty. Why? Because he might actually answer you, and you don't want to have to sleep with your eyes open for the rest of your life. Yes, officer. I'll talk to him about it again. Oh, hi, you're back. Sorry about that. Goodness. You know, if God had to pay his angels that look after Mr. Sam, they'd be the richest ones in heaven. Try and remind him how much we had to pay in fines the last time he somehow blew out all those transformers in China. Okay. Maybe we should get back to our story. Let me get recentered here a little bit. Okay. I like to think about Jesus every day, not just once a year. I remember what he did for me and you. We know he didn't really have to do what he did, but he chose to anyways. So we could have one day every year to celebrate, well, everything. I think about what God did too. Mr. Sam and I have 2 kids, and Mr. Sam says if the survival of the universe depended on us giving up one of our children, well then, the whole wide universe is totally out of luck. Don't worry, I'll come back to Santa's role in all of this in a minute. Mr. Sam says God's love and our faith is truly a two-way street. And when we take time to remember the reason for the season every day, it may be okay for us to let Santa bring us all a little cheer once a year. As long as you have faith in God and His Son, He's faithful to return that faith in some way that's unique to you and your needs. Why wouldn't He? He's the perfect example of unconditional love. But does faith in Jesus leave room to believe in Santa, the Easter Bunny, or even Cupid? I sure hope so. Let's look at this another way. God believes in us, and He shows it 365 days a year. Every time we talk to Him, He's listening. Sometimes when we're very still and just wait, He even whispers answers in prayer. Maybe He does that so only we can hear Him. How would I know that He believes in us? I know He does because Mr. Sam is still alive and not melted into an electrical outlet somewhere. He even believes in that kid who smears grape jelly all over your brand new sled every Halloween. Kind of the same way He's always close and the way He takes such good care of us by not giving us everything we want and ask for. And kind of the same way I think maybe He believes in Santa Claus. But you'll have to come back next week to see what I mean by that. Why I think it's possible to honor Jesus' birthday once a year and still write letters to send to the North Pole. Did you know there's a place in the Postal Service that makes sure letters to Santa get safely to the North Pole? I know this because I saw it in a YouTube video. They said it was so. Our visit next week will be just before Christmas, so let's get all excited. And I really can't wait to see you and finish telling you what I think about. Does God believe in Santa Claus? Get your comfy pajamas out, and I'll see you then. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and I will see you tomorrow.